great people out there. But every week on the first weekend of the month, they do what they call Raptor Days. So they have this track specifically built for Raptors and side by sides to race around. So, and including right there, as you see, is got a pretty significant jump that's built into the track. So I've seen. I first caught eye of this when I was watching a bunch of videos and photos of Raptors jumping. And I'm like, oh, where's that at? And I realized it was close. I'm like, okay, let's get this going. And I was waiting for the light bar to come in so that we can kind of complete the look. Because if you notice, we did actually keep the light bar on for those daytime shots, and it looks really cool. But pretty cool. I can't say enough about how capable this thing is off-road. And this kind of like proved my point. And if anything, I have also been talking to a lot of people about how this thing is most comparable to a Raptor R off-road, or basically just out of the box, because this is a stock dual motor Cybertruck. And I think it goes to show the reality of the video, as well as all the comments I got from all the local people who take their Raptors out there, that they were really impressed on social. So I was talking to them about swapping different stories of how they like approach this jump. And then turns out when I first hit it, I went 45 miles an hour, which I thought was actually pretty conservative. I was like, okay, let's see how this thing is going to go. And I actually got air off of 45. So that was impressive of the jump. And then when I could feel that, okay, it was kind of comfortable, I started to ramp it up. So we went to 50, 55, and then all the way up to 60. And I think 60 was the sweet spot for this truck. It's like this video was not quite 60. I think I would say it's like 50 or 55. But the other video that I put up there.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to that.
Definitely.
Wait, real quick, Chase. Sorry to cut you off. Do you see your subscriber count?
Oh, there we go.
So
someone's
listening. Jay is in chat. He subscribed to you.
Thanks,
Jay
Jay.
is the man. We love Jay. So thank you, Jay. Also, hello to Hugo and Jay. We know that they're in chat right now. Thanks, guys. And let's go ahead and show the next video.
So this one, watch on your own time because we don't have the audio, because it kind of timed it out with.
Here. Let me redo it.
Okay, there you go.
I could do the audio. I'm pretty sure.
You can just dub.
Here we go. Let's see. Tell me if you hear it.
Oh yeah,
now that
we hear it.
This General Lee was raring to take off like the Yankees at Manassas. That's Bull Run, all you folks up north.
All right, Phil, hang on tight. It's going to be the closest thing to a parachute jump you've seen since you left the service.
Long about now, I bet that boy wishes he had a parachute.
A little bit cleaner jump on that one. But yeah. I think the guys I was out there with, it's a huge shout out to Griffin. If you're looking for a photographer around South Texas, check out Artistic Whips with a Z at the end on Instagram. He was their photographer for all the static shots, but also I had a buddy Jason and his buddy Brad from Tennessee out there. So that was a lot of fun. So because we essentially had two helmets. So I was driving, and then I had someone riding with me, and the other two guys would be filming as we were going around. And then we just kind of did a couple laps and kept switching off so everyone could ride along. But it was a hell of a lot of fun because we were just like crank up the classic rock and then like whipping it around these dirt turns. It was freaking awesome. And then we all kind of made the comparison to the Dukes of Hazzard as soon as we got done with this and started looking at the footage and be like, fucking just like send it.
that video, the way you guys edited that, put in the Dukes of Hazzard stuff, all that is just, to me, that is like one of the best videos I've seen on the internet in a very, very long time. So
makes it worth it. Thank you.
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Will?
What's happening?
Just talking about jumping Cybertrucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should have do the freeze frame. Them Duke boys got themselves in a hell of a pickle. This
That's exactly what I was doing. Because it was like I found one of the clips where he was talking about like I found the clip where they actually did freeze frame it up in the air, and then that's what I was riffing off of that clip. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so much fun, honestly. And shout out to Cycle Ranch again, because we showed up actually. So we went on Friday. Like I said, Raptor days are kind of like Friday, Saturday, the first weekend, but I didn't realize that they had only planned for Saturday this weekend. So I just showed up. I'm the only one there.
Oh.
And they're just like, yeah, come on in, go for it. And I'm like, hell yeah. And then like I'm the only truck out there. And yet they still brought the water truck out, and they did like 2 laps of water. So they put water down, which if you do a lot of motocross, you know, it cuts the dust way down.
Yeah.
So yeah, they super accommodating, but yeah, can't say more enough about them. And then capability of the truck came out unscathed, except for the one thing that I expected to break was the mud flaps, which are basically the little like fairings in front of the rear tires.
Yeah, they look like a wedge. They're just like this little thing. And they honestly, like I never took mine off-roading or anything remotely close to it, and mine was coming off. I remember seeing it like hanging from the body at one point. And
I'm pretty sure it was an impact, some kind of impact that hit it, whether it was on. Actually, yeah, that image I realize is not quite looking at it, but you can kind of see it in the back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Enhance.
But mainly I was going to say, I didn't realize until today when I posted in the owners forum that someone had reminded me, if you go through the manual, which I did extensively, I went through the off-roading guide quite a bit before doing this. But someone said in the owner's manual, it talks about off-roading, and it says to actually remove those wheel fairings. It's recommended before going off-road, which I think that's a great point.
That is a great point.
But here is like a little blurb with one of the static photos we got. This is actually from the off-road manual as well, where it says, if your vehicle detects it as airborne, the dampers will adjust to attempt to protect the vehicle while landing, which is perfect. It's on page 14 when it's talking about Baja mode. So they anticipated people to take Baja off-road and maybe get some air. So here we are.
That photo right there deserves to be like on Tesla.com.
I said the same thing. Yeah.
You know, that is just awesome, man. That is awesome. Yeah. But I want to go down to here too, because you had a comment on the forum right here.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
I want to kind of cover that.
That's the little blurb. Exactly how it reads. Talking about, it's basically just recommending in off-roading to remove those wheel fairings. And they do link to the do-it-yourself guide, but they don't actually show you how to remove the rear fairings. They only show you how to remove the front ones, but I would assume it's pretty much the same as those plastic clips. Just gonna unhook them, but I kind of wish that there was no, like, I could just take off those fairings and then maybe like replace it with a cap or something, so that you just delete the fairing essentially. Because without it, it looks like something's missing. Like you would look at the truck right now, you'd be like, oh, there's something missing from there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be something that's going to come out at some point to fill that gap.
Yeah, no warnings, no nothing. There's like got a lot of those questions. If you're like, hey, did it break after? Did it brick? I'm like, no, I
didn't go through a car wash.
I didn't go to the car wash.
Did it burst into flames?
It's funny you say that, because I literally after we did that, like we were on the way home, and I texted my detail guy, be like, hey, and I sent him a photo or link to the video, and he was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, what's your availability?
Yeah. He's like, I'm charging 3 times what I normally charge, because this is, it's funny because I washed mine because I went overlanding. I didn't do the crazy stuff that Chase was doing, but I just went some off-roading, a little overlanding, and yeah, man, I washed
everywhere.
I washed it on Sunday, and geez, that truck. I mean, there's dirt outside that just you could tell where I washed my truck. There's just dirt everywhere, and I try to hose it down, but it's a massive amount of dirt. Real quick. As always, Jay, Hugo, hello. They're saying hi to Will.
What's up?
And then we have a question here. So Mitch Freeman is asking. He says that he got his Cybertruck a week ago. So congratulations, Mitch. I didn't get the wheel covers. Those should be coming out. There's emails that are going out now to current Tesla Cybertruck owners stating that the wheel covers are coming soon, and as soon as your service center has yours, they'll contact you and you can come and pick them up. He has another question. He says, do you know if a wall charger is included in the Foundation Series dual motor, or just the portable charger in the sub trunk? One of you guys want to handle that?
I was gonna say you do get the portable subcharger in the trunk, but that also comes with a 220 outlet or plug as well. I thought so. You can get.
And that's always been standard for Tesla vehicles. Yeah, like they made the change to everybody gets a mobile charger with the vehicle.
Yeah, I would say though, if you are gonna not need the power share, if you forego getting the power share, they'll give you a $2,500 credit, which you could easily use towards buying a V2 charger for the garage if you've got the access.
So essentially, to answer the question in a nutshell, is you're going to get the portable charger, which you already have. You can use that with a 1450, a NEMA 1450 240 volt wall plug. If you don't have that already, you can probably call a local electrician. It's going to cost somewhere around $400, $600, depending on your electrician, roughly.
Yeah.
And then if you elect to go with the power share hardware and setup, then you'll get with Tesla. Tesla will have you connected with an electrician, and they will set up inspection and eventually an install to where they'll put a wall connector installed in your garage on your wall, fixed on your wall, and then you also get a gateway and all the hardware so that way you can do power share. So there's different options.
It might be too early for adjust the tip with Will, but I was going to say if you're calling around for doing EV charger installs, don't mention a Tesla. Don't even necessarily mention it's for an electric vehicle. Call an electrician and tell them that you're considering putting an electric dryer in your garage, and you just need them to give you a basic quote for the work for installing the NEMA 1450.
Or a beer fridge.
Doing that, yeah, or a fridge or something that's 220, and ask them, honestly, even if you don't want to go that far out of your way, but any electrician you're having doing a NEMA 1450 install or even a Tesla charger install, make them quote you like what their cost is for the labor and for the parts, because they will sometimes try to throw you this like batch deal that turns out that they are definitely overcharging you per foot of conduit or of any of the wiring. It's sometimes something where they gouge. So just, if you're talking to an electrician, you don't even need to mention EV. You just be like, I need to add a NEMA 1450 to my garage, and I want it over by the garage door. And, if they choose to still kind of try to overcharge you, whatever. But
it's funny that you that's a really good tip, because recently I needed an outlet installed at my work because I wanted to put a charger in the warehouse. And as soon as I called and I just told the guy, I just need a 1450 in my warehouse. And he goes, oh, so you need an EV plug? And I go, no. I don't need an EV plug. What I need is a NEMA 1450 installed into my warehouse. And he goes, oh, so you're going to be charging an EV there? I said, no, it's a warehouse. We're going to be using heavy equipment in the warehouse. And he was like, oh, okay. All right. Sounds good. And then he came out. So I used your advice on that one.
Or park the Cybertruck at the neighbor's house so they're not like, wait a minute. They don't put two and two together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because it's a weird thing, because I remember, when you get somebody to pay you, to pay by the conduit, and they give you the flat rate for whatever they imagine the install will cost them, that's one thing. But with the way that I've seen just the NEMA 1450 plugs getting upcharged when they know it's going to an electric vehicle, it's the difference between $400 to $600 to jumping up to like almost $2,000. I've heard maybe like $1,800 or something like that. I got to pull permits for this and those other things, and it's like,
yeah. Well, he is mentioning now that he has a wall charger already installed, and he has a 1450 in the garage. So, Mitch, in that way, in that regards, unless if you want the power share hardware and you want that capability with the Cybertruck, then I would just elect to get that $2,500 credit from Tesla and use that however you want on their shop.
And a little more than just the tip, but I also highly recommend that everybody, if you're going to rely on EV, the mobile charger as your primary mode of charging, just spend the money now. Go on Amazon and find an RV plug extension, something that can handle up to 50 amps, something that'll just give you an extra 30 feet And because sometimes that'll make the difference, because it's like if you're planning on stopping in people's houses, but you don't know exactly how accessible the plugs are or something. It's just something really helpful to have in your frunk or whatever with your mobile charger. Just gives you that extra 30 feet. Sometimes it's a lifesaver.
I will say, I was going to say the same thing about getting the wall connector. Like, make sure you get the wall connector that has the 20-foot line, because I think they have a shorter one, or at least they did.
8 feet. They had one that was 8 feet. It was like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, unless you park it exact. I mean, if it was going to go to like a hotel or something where they always have the choice to back in the cars as a courtesy charge or something, I'm like, okay, 8 feet. They always know it's going right there. But yeah, I'm like, anybody who ordered the 8 foot and then got it at home, they were like, this is stupid. I should not have gotten this one. And
especially since you already have the NEMA plug in your garage, because that's exactly what we had. We had built our house a few years back, and we planned to have some kind of charger. So we made sure that extra line was like placed where we needed it to be. All you need to do is literally go to Home Depot and buy a dryer plug, because they come on like with just open wires, and you just you basically just shear off the wires, and it's super easy to actually wire up the wall connector, and then you just plug it in. So makes it easy. You don't need even an electrician to install it.
Well, I think Mitch is like the electrician of all electricians. He's also stating that he installed his whole 32 kilowatt solar panel systems with an inverter and everything. So Mitch,
we're preaching to the choir here.
If you're in the Southern California area,
is that Zach from Jerry Rig Everything? Is he watching this?
Yeah, there you go.
I remember because he did his own home install too, like a huge array on his roof. So that's cool. I'm jealous. I'm super jealous. I really dig getting the solar panel stuff. It's like what a great passive way to just pay, offset your gas. It's so great. Well, offset the cost of gas versus. Anyway, never mind.
So this is going to be a question for Will. Manic is in chat, and they're asking, do you recommend any specific extender? I'm assuming the extension cord that you were talking about with honestly,
there's just so many different, fly by night Amazon brand names that'll be gone in 6 months anyway. Just make sure that you get one that says that it's rated. I think that it's UL listed or something, just to make sure it's not going to burn out on you or falsely represent what it can handle. But just something that goes up to the amperage that your mobile charger can do. So your mobile charger, if it's unless you have one of the old school ones like me, it only goes up to I think 32 amps. So just make sure that you have something that can handle 32 amps, which means you're going to look for one that probably handles 40 or 50 amps. The price difference isn't significant. Just make sure that you get the one that actually says, because it'll have a serious impact on the charging ability and potential danger.
Yeah, you don't want to fire. That's for sure.
No.
Just real quick, getting back to Chase's adventures, I just want to show something. The power of Keep on Cybertrucking. You have 50% more subscribers now, Chase. You're up to 6 subscribers now. See?
Yeah, it's all about percentages.
That's
yeah.
A 50%
steady growth you can rely on.
I mean, 50% every 20 minutes. I mean, I'll be at billionaire status here in no time.
You'll literally have everybody in the universe subscribe to you in 30 minutes. That's the power of exponential growth, baby.
Yeah. I will say I was talking to the right people, because we had you probably saw the Cyber Rodeo that we covered, where it had the column of Cybertrucks back in June.
Yeah.
I talked to those guys that did that event. I'm like, hey, we should do the next one here. Because if we had like months to prepare, and you told Cybertruck owners you can come out and jump your truck, I think that's going to bring a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Jump your truck safely is the asterisk for that. Like I even had a helmet on. People on X gave me shit because I had a helmet. I'm like, that's literally the track rules, but I'm glad I did. I mean, they were like, it's a tank. Why do you need a helmet? I'm like, no, it's
because you're not trying to get hurt. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The car will be fine. Yeah, the truck is fine. The truck is a tank. My head, on the other hand, is very soft.
Yeah.
That's one thing. If you're curious about the settings, definitely check out my X or even the forum post on the Cybertruck Owners Club. I did leave my off-road settings that I use for that in the details. So if you're curious, I'm trying to pull it up right now. I just had. Where'd it go?
Well, while you're pulling that up, I want to share something real quick for anybody who is in the Southern California area that has a Cybertruck that wants to join me this Saturday, we are getting together. One of my buddies, OG Cyber on Instagram, is putting together a Cybertruck meetup. But it's not just a meetup, it's also a photo shoot and off-roading experience. So we're going to be meeting up. Here's the flyer.
Do some
We're going
donuts.
to be meeting up really early in the morning. We're leaving at 3:45 in Victorville. We're leaving, departing the supercharger in Victorville at 3:45. So I'm leaving here like, I don't know, like at 2:30 or something. And we're all going to get together. We're going to do a whole photo shoot. As of right now, we got 18 Cybertrucks that will be attending. Pretty much name the Cybertruck in Southern California. So far, they're either interested in coming or they will be coming. And so if anybody's out there that wants to come swing by and hang out and get some cool photos.
I'm going to guess. So knowing if they're starting in Victorville and driving 40 minutes, then you're heading to, I think, probably the Lake Los Angeles, dried out lake. Like that, it's basically, it's been featured in like everything you've ever seen in the desert with some huge sweeping desert, you know?
Well, right here it says soggy dry lake. So
it's soggy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's where we're going supposedly, and then we're gonna do initial photo shoot there. We're gonna do some donuts and drag racing, and we're gonna do some crazy stuff. And then I think after we're done with that, whoever wants to leave because they're tired, they can leave. But then I think a group of us are gonna go a little deeper in and kind of do some crazier off-roading stuff. So
that's a perfect segue.
Yeah,
because if you're going to be doing donuts, very similar settings. Obviously, we talked about off-road mode being overland versus Baja, but you're definitely going to want to be in Baja, like I was for this last weekend. The only thing I changed to Baja mode outside of what's standard was setting the handling balance to 60% to the rear and then 40% to the front. That's just so that I could get the rear to kick out a little bit more than it normally would. I think default is like 50-50 or something like that. Now, something to keep in mind, this is very specific to the dual motor. But if you're going to want to like do some donuts, I would actually go 80% to the rear and 20% to the front. But I've heard because of the way that the motors are, you off-road and Baja mode with the Cyber Beast, you're actually going to want the more forward than in the back. Now, maybe something you guys can try out when you guys go this weekend, but
you
definitely play with that.
Yeah, you have all that information? Like,
yeah.
You said you have it all on your X?
Up on X or even the Cybertruck owners forum post.
Okay, on that same post that you did with the jump. Okay, I'm gonna go look at all that. Yeah,
I'll take a sorry. Carry on.
Oh, I was gonna say the only other thing I did was set the ride height to very high, which is terrain rugged in Baja mode, so that it wasn't all the way up, because if I went up to extract, I couldn't get fast enough. So you can't go that fast in extract. Certainly not 60 miles an hour. But yeah, so I went very high, which is it's 14.5 inches clearance, but that was plenty enough clearance to make the jump. So, FYI.
So very high. So because you were in Baja.
Yeah,
that's why. Okay, so this past weekend when I went, every time I was in extract, it limited me to 7.5 miles per hour, and when I was in very high, I was limited to 25 miles per hour.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Probably because I wasn't
because of Baja.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. All right.
I just wanted to say also shout out here, because having driven Teslas for so long, it's been like everybody loves doing the launch mode in Model S or just kind of feeling that push for the first time in an EV. And I really kind of feel like this might be a kind of a cool moment for Tesla's timeline, so to speak. This is like they went from getting everybody super excited about that punch for EV, but now they're kind of with these kind of settings that you can go in and drill into and play with. Yeah. It just sounds so cool that it's like, yeah, we're going to put like the power that you felt with that first time somebody really punched it in an EV. We're going to turn over that and let you discreetly use X amount of power to these wheels. And, so you can kind of discover what you can do with it in this frame of the Cybertruck and what it's doing. So it's just, I think that just like, in 2017 when I first got in, it was like, yeah, the car is cool, but it's like they didn't really tell you a lot. They didn't tell you what they were doing, what the efficiency was. Now they're literally just giving you the dial and being like, yeah, have fun with it, man. Just up and down. It's awesome.
And I will say, even in default Baja mode, the rear steering is also enabled. Like the guys, the first time I was going around the track, the guys was like, oh man, you could see the back tires are turning with you, and you're just like making it super tight. So it felt like cheating driving on that track, honestly. But that's probably something, if you're just going to do donuts, you might want to turn off the rear steer also. That'll help.
Yeah, I think so. I did have a question for you, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
When you were approaching and you were going to hit that jump for the first time, how scared were you? Honestly.
I wasn't that scared. Like I said, I hit it at 45. I thought that was going to be like conservative. I thought it was going to like pop up and then do a little bounce and then be fine. I didn't expect to hit air at 45. So it was kind of shocking, but also confidence boosting at the same time. So I'm like, okay, we can do this. Like there was only one, I want to say it was like the second lap when I was starting to like kind of get into it a little bit more. There was one turn that I was concerned about like slipping off the track. And it was just because of driver error. I was taking the turn too fast, not planning it. But after getting used to it, like it was just having fun at that point. Like it was.
You didn't channel your inner Mario Kart.
No, I mean I tried, but it's also dirt, so it's like it's so fun to like see or just feel like you get through like one of those tight turns and then you just floor it. You can feel it like kicking through the dirt, and then you finally get the power. It's just too fun. Like honestly, I can't recommend it enough. If you can get out off road and let it rip, this is the funnest vehicle I've ever driven. Like, and it's cheaper than a Raptor R by
yes, it is.
30,000
at least.
That's where like a couple of buddies of mine were like, "What are you doing? That thing's $100,000." I'm like, "Do you realize the people that go out there like spend like 150 on the Raptors and all the extra upgrades, and they're jumping those things even higher?"
Yeah. The money that they put into those things is ridiculous. No, the reason why I asked
that's their hobby, their pastime. That's where all their money 100%.
Is. Oh, but the reason why I asked about if you were scared is because I'm not going to lie. When you sent that video and right when I turned it on, I didn't see your car. I saw the little jump. I saw the little lump. My hands got sweaty. And I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, like he's really going to do this. Oh, no. And then when I saw the truck, I'm like, oh. And then I saw it land well, and then you took off. I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. It's all good. Everyone's good. All right, cool. So.
That's kind of how, like, when I just sent out the photo, people were like, well, did you land? Because it's just the photo up in the air. But yeah, like I said, it was like cheating. It felt stupid easy. But also, like, feel like you're really capable, like having that kind of control and power. And it's really just kind of, I got to the point where like I'm right up at the edge of like as far as I want to push it, and then just had fun for the rest of the time. The only time, like I said, it wasn't until I want to say it was probably jump 8 or 9 that the mud flap finally broke off. And I don't know if it was actually from the impact of the landing or what was going on there, where maybe it hit a rock on the way up or something, but it was definitely an impact of some sort.
So what was the fastest that you went when you hit that jump?
60.
60.
Yeah.
Which, crazy enough, like after posting this up, and then obviously the next day on the same track, because this is actually kind of, they updated the track. It's not something to get into, but they updated the track, and then all the other Raptors got to go on it the day after we did. And I was starting to message a lot of them and ask their questions like, hey, how do you hit this? And because they're like jumping it just as high as we did, but they also weigh like 800 pounds less than this thing does. So I'm like, okay. But turns out most of the Raptors hit that same jump anywhere from 55 to 65. So we were literally right in that same range. I think if we waited a little less, we would have got a little higher. But also, I was talking to some guys of how their technique is when they hit that jump. So like they'll throttle off going into the jump, and then they'll actually throttle up so it actually keeps the truck level when it's in the air. Because otherwise, if you're not throttling up, the front starts to dip. And that's actually, if you look at our video, that's what was happening, is that I came up and then the front dipped down, but just in time to hit the backside of the landing. But I'm curious to try it again and see, if I throttle through in the air if I can get it to like stabilize, or if it's like a handling thing. Like maybe if I put more of the handling to the rear, if that would make a difference or not. But I think it's kind of cool. They race out there, and they actually had invited me to go in October.
Nice.
Time trials.
Perfect, because Will and I are coming out for 1010. So.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll let you know the details. Yeah, because it's.
I'll bring my pom poms. Be like, that's my boy Chase.
Yeah.
Get it.
But I will say that.
I'm gonna pick up Will, and we're gonna drive up there. So Will and I will be in the back of my Cybertruck doing karaoke with the new microphones.
Yes,
and we'll be cheering you on with our pom poms.
Yeah.
You know,
this one goes out to Chase.
I love it. Shoot, one thing. There's a thought in there, and it just disappeared. Yeah.
Well, when we're on our way to go see Chase, one thing that we're going to want to definitely, or hope that's going to be happening for us, is the fact that the 350 kilowatt charging superchargers are enabled, or there's more of them, because Tesla Tino was up in Los Gatos in California, and he was able to charge at 323 kilowatt. So that is super cool and encouraging, the fact that he was able to find one out in the wild, as they say, and he was able to share his results. And that's what I've been saying for a long time, that, you know, obviously the Cybertruck has an extremely large battery pack, and that contributes to longer charge times, because you have to charge up that large battery pack. But the Cybertruck is capable of charging up to 350 kilowatts. So once all of that is unlocked, and there's more V4 superchargers, that's going to help with, us Cybertruck owners, when we stop to charge, we'll be able to get a quicker charge. So I thought this was really cool and encouraging, the fact that Tesla has admitted that, yes, they have some of these out there. They're doing tests on them. And hopefully, as time goes on, this will be universal. This will be at every supercharger location, and make everybody's lives a little bit easier.
If you remember back, for some OG listeners, when we were talking about, I had a renter that was actually a charging company. They make like supercharger type setups, but like third party. They're not Tesla superchargers, but they rented the truck just solely so they could use it for testing. And even they were saying that, yeah, this truck is not charging as fast as it theoretically could. Yeah. It could even go up even higher than this 323. It's just kind of, will the chargers allow it, and when will that happen? But they mentioned like one critical piece of that there is like an off handshake that happens with the Cybertrucks at superchargers that doesn't happen with other vehicles. So I wonder if that was the culprit of where we're starting to see that get unlocked, essentially.
I thought that the Cybertruck was the first 800 volt battery. So yeah, it would make sense. The Cybertruck would have to identify itself in the handshake that it was capable of 800 volts, even if the chargers aren't necessarily delivering it yet.
We can see it.
Also, I sent in the chat. There's actually a really cool website, because you had mentioned, Eric, trying to find these in the wild. There's a website it's just called supercharge.info, and they've got a running sheet of charger installations. And they've actually, I haven't been to this website in a minute, but they've added some things where you can see the number of stalls, number of plugs, and they also identify the V3 and V4 chargers. So you could probably find, if it's on there, find a V4 charger that's somewhere along your way to test out, or But yeah, and then I know that they've got links over to I think it's the Tesla Owners Forum, and where these threads essentially are, and you can see some of the interactions, and people probably will start mentioning in there, being like, "Oh, I was hitting 300, 320 kilowatts or something higher."
There's a V4 at Austin Airport. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool, because it's all basically crowdsourced. It's just people posting stuff, and then it makes it over onto this site. Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. No, I'm definitely gonna check this out.
The urban supercharger that's like 3 miles from my house. I mean, like they didn't even like nobody knew they were putting a supercharger in there, and I was actually the one to get it listed on here. So when they all started showing up, I'm like, yes, we can track where they are. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, this is cool. That's really cool. So something that's not really cool, and we're starting to see more and more, and it makes sense, right? I mean, it's one of those things where the more Cybertrucks out there on the road, the more accidents there's going to be, and so this I don't know if it was this person, I don't know exactly who they were, but very similar to me. They were driving and somebody merged into their lane and sideswiped them. They had a lot more damage than me. But you can see there's, a hole right here in this door. You can see the misalignment, right? Or, it's got realigned. I don't know what they're doing there, but here you go.
Oh, yeah, it's
picture.
like part of the other vehicle got broken off and wedged in there.
Yeah.
So
took a souvenir.
Yeah.
Pretty bad damage there. Unfortunate.
Hand that to the cops. Be like, get these to the boys at the lab.
You can still jump it. This is drivable.
Yeah, very drivable. It's fine.
And then here's the car that.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
Aw.
A lot more damage to this vehicle than there was to the Cybertruck, to say the least. But unfortunate for this Cybertruck owner.
Ooh, wow! Look at how the door is cut into.
Yeah,
like severed the middle a little bit.
Sliced into the other panel. So yeah, it's just another Cybertruck. I think it's almost like a weekly occurrence now for us, is that we're seeing Cybertrucks that are in accidents and needing repair. And so I'm sure at some point we're going to get an update on this Cybertruck to see how long it's going to be out of commission and what the repair costs are going to be.
If this is yours, I'm sorry, Sergio. This is a very bummer.
Yeah. Poor Sergio. So just wanted to share that with everybody.
Eric, I was going to say in not so related news. So how do you feel about the fact that there have been 68 earthquakes in exactly the same location up in Grapevine? 68 earthquakes since that big one last night that like hit LA, like the 5.2.
There's been 68 earthquakes since then?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
68 earthquakes. I mean, they're all below a 4, I believe. But they're all like this crazy swarm of earthquakes all in Grapevine. It's basically like right near Bakersfield. And it's and they're all literally like, you look at the map here, I'll send you the damn link. Hang on. It's it's like there's all of these 68 earthquakes in the last 24 hours in just that one spot. And it's north of LA, and it's exactly where that 5.2 hit.
All right. I know this isn't EV related, but it is something that
we're all going to be off-road. Yeah, look at that.
That's crazy,
right? That's like let's see here. Hang on.
They're all around 3, right?
Yeah, they're all not like significantly crazy or anything, but I mean, I think that we're looking at like, like, hate to use kilometers, but it's easier. It's a like 25 square kilometer area.
This is the one that happened last night, right? The 5.2?
Yeah, there's a 5.2 in there from, actually, I'm not sure, was it last night or was it? It might have been outside the 24-hour period.
No, I think it was last night, if I remember correctly. That's wild.
Yeah, the 5.2 is in the middle there. 5.2, 24 kilometers southwest of Lamont. Yeah, it happened at 9:00 last night. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we kept mentioning SoCal, and it seems like I feel like there's some SoCal listeners, so be careful. There's a bunch of earthquakes.
Yeah, there are.
In the same freaking spot.
Yeah,
LA's gonna break off.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Never know.
I mean, my house is like literally on San Andreas Fault, so I'm not sure I want to roll the dice on this one here.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to blame Elon Musk for those earthquakes and say that he has something to do with it. So.
He's leaving California, and then they're like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
He's going to sue the earthquakes.
One thing that keeps like changing, right, is Foundation Series and I mean, months ago we were reporting.
Oh yeah, I was hoping we were going to talk about this.
We were hearing that Foundation Series was over, and then Elon even came out and said, "Oh no, we're going to extend it. We're going to keep going." And then we heard, "Oh no, it's kind of slowing down. Sales aren't there. They're going to end it." And then now, obviously, this is from somebody that was on Reddit, but they said that they got off the phone with the Tesla rep who said the Foundation Series was recently extended and will be around for at least till the end of the year and possibly up to a year from now. That is crazy.
And now this is also the take everything with a grain of salt. So it's like most of the folks at Tesla, it's like, yeah, some of them know stuff, but then when you ask them, they're like, they don't tell us stuff. So how does this person know this? Is it reliable? But I mean, we haven't seen any indicators about the pivot for it, for when it would become the non-Foundation Series. So you gotta wonder if they're just gonna keep sitting on this for a bit longer.
Well, our speculation has been for quite some time now that we think that Foundation Series and the end of Foundation Series was going to align with FSD for the Cybertruck. That's kind of what has been our three speculation, right? That's kind of what we've come up with that we think is probably what's going to end up happening. Obviously, the Foundation Series was supposed to happen in June. That didn't happen. We then were speculating, is it going to happen around the Robotaxi event? That got delayed. Elon has now said that FSD to the Cybertruck will happen mid-August, which would be technically next week.
He didn't say which year.
True. So
that's always the joke that they make. They're like,
yeah. So it's just, it's kind of the same thing that we complain about all the time. It's like, we don't know, we just don't know. We're just going to find out when everybody else finds out.
And I mean, nothing's forcing them. They're in they're in a market right now economically where it's like, okay, some of the other manufacturers have seen increases in their sales, and Tesla's seen, decrease over the last quarter. But it's like, it's also happening at a time when I don't get the vibe that people are out there spending money on their dream car or their upgrade car or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like everybody's buckling down for something severe and they're not spending the money necessarily. So, but if they keep manufacturing them because they want to achieve capacity, but if they're not selling right now, I mean, that may just be a part of the volatility that is Tesla, where they're just like, yeah, we're just going to keep trying to sell them at this elevated price for a while. And that's just the way it is. That's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of can't blame them, right? If people are buying them at that Foundation Series $20,000 price increase, upcharge, however you want to categorize it, and if people are buying them, why would they stop? It doesn't. They don't have to. They can keep it going forever. But it's just one of those things where we're constantly hearing that it's going away and then it's not going away and it's getting extended, and So
we still don't know what the non-Foundation is going to look like. You don't really have any kind of confirmation, because I was just thinking about it the other day. They could start ripping things out to really make it worth it. Like even the L track could be an upgrade. Among a few other things, even the back screen, I don't think they would, but there's a lot that they could rip out if they wanted to nickel and dime it.
Well, Alex is in our chat and he says, on the last earnings report, Elon said Foundation Series will end by the end of third quarter of this year. That's fantastic, but I'm sure Alex knows as well, everything that Elon says, the joke is always Elon's time, right? So
again, he didn't say which year. The end of third quarter, 2025.
Yeah. Well, who knows? But
I feel like I feel like they're kind of in this like complete equilibrium where it's like, the people who wanted a Cybertruck, who were running out the door to order a Foundation Series, they've already kind of saturated that group. So who's left? The other people who I think I read on Reddit that somebody had just recently ordered a Foundation Series and they got contacted pretty quickly to come and take it if they wanted it.
Right.
And I just feel like that's kind of, they've got the interest satisfied. So now it's just winning people over. Well, that may take a while because they don't have full self-driving, and that's gotten out. There's this, there's that. There's just, there's a like a cultural backlash. There's just enough things that maybe they've sold the ones that are gonna sell. And then when something changes or gives them the impression it's safe to, then maybe that'll change more into sales. But yeah, like I said before, it doesn't seem like now's the time that people are buying their dream cars. And so everybody might be like, I mean, I can get a Cybertruck next year. It's fine. I'll wait. So
yeah, I've definitely heard a lot of people that had reservations. They're like, I'm gonna wait. Daddy? Same thing.
they want chocolate. Will.
Yeah. And then, come on, close the door, please. Yeah. Always wants chocolate.
That's cute.
I have one kid that will absolutely, he does not like sweets or candy or ice cream or anything that, most kids are into.
Really?
Versus my daughter, who would 100% just live on those things. she would just eat like just chocolate for like lunch, and then just bread, and then some more sugary whatever.
She'll live at the Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
Yes, and she'd probably run it too. And she for some reason, she's diabolical. She would somehow convince the slave labor to stay on. Be like, Oompa Loompas, I won't pay you guys anything, but I won't kick you out. And they'd be like, all right, some more of the same. Fine, great.
There you go.
My daughter.
There you go. Good for her. She's going to be very successful. So I know that we've talked about, and I know Will specifically has talked about that once Tesla starts offering Cybertruck demos, that was going to really help with showing them steer-by-wire and all of the features and technology that they're putting into the Cybertruck. Well, Sawyer on X actually received this email, and it states, "The future is here. Join us at a Tesla Peabody for an invite-only opportunity to be one of the first to take Cybertruck on a demo drive. You'll have a Tesla advisor as your co-pilot to walk you through the vehicle operation, introduce you to our steer-by-wire technology, and show you why this is the truck of the future. Space is limited. Submit your RSVP soon." So they're putting those demos out there. They're going to start getting people, giving people the opportunities to drive a Cybertruck prior to purchasing, which I know isn't going to make Chase very happy because he has Turo and he gets a lot of people that are renting it.
They're not doing it in Austin yet, by the way.
And
like
I think
very
Chase
few locations. Yeah.
The test drive is so neutral. It's like versus, yeah, you get to experience all the great technology of the car you already want. It's people rented on Turo so they can try fitting in their garage, they can see if their family even likes it, all that kind of stuff that you can't do on a test drive. Chase, you'll be fine.
All of which, exactly. All of which renters have done all of the above. Like I've had renters that are like, I just want to make sure it fits in my garage.
Yeah.
Just
I'm literally just citing the reasons
like,
people gave me for renting it. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
One guy had it for a whole week and used it as his daily driver, and that's the same thing where he just wanted to make sure it was going to fit in the lifestyle. And I totally get that, especially if you're dropping 100,000 now for it. If you spent $5,000 or $1,000 on a test drive rental for a few days, then you're saving yourself some money if you have to pull up.
So 100%. I was as you were reading the thing. So I was having this tinfoil hat image appeared, because what you were what it sounds like, I'm thinking in time frame. It's like, so November of last year is when they officially started delivering them to celebrities, and then for 2 months they were kind of lagging. A few people nobody really got them between the celebrity event and end of November and like mid-January, I think, was when I first saw. Because everybody was saying, like, oh yeah, they're getting out there. I'm like, yeah, but do you know anyone who's actually taken one in? So January was about the time that I think that they really started hitting the road. And I think I got mine on February 1st. So now we're seeing the test drive cycle. It's like, I kind of feel like I'm remembering the Model 3 reveal for the employee, the reveal was before it. I can't remember exactly when, but doing the employee deliveries in like August, and then actually delivering them 4 or 5 months later in December, January. And then I want to say within a few months after that was when they started the Model 3 test drives. And it's interesting how the Model 3 was still ramping up, but but it was still like behind closed doors. It was like the employee delivery, and then there's like 100 deliveries and there's stuff. Versus the Cybertruck, we're all like, celebrities got it, Pharrell's got one. What the hell? Where's mine? And then everybody's going and jumping on them. So it kind of feels like everybody who's doing the Foundation series thing, what you're really doing is like mimicking the employee side experience of the Model 3 rollout. And, but it's happening more publicly, which is way cooler because the Model 3 was kind of like this. Oh, what's that over there? Oh, I saw a Model 3 today. Okay, exciting. It's just, the cultural upset's just so much different. But it's interesting how the two big rollouts kind of match each other. But Tesla's reinventing all the stuff that they do each time. So
yeah, 100%. Wanted to show, so something that was interesting was this past weekend when I went off-roading, the photographer and I, we're driving out and we had a really good conversation. So as we were talking, he had mentioned that somebody had mentioned to him how the Cybertruck has the HEPA filters, right? And the biodefense mode. And he was he had no idea about that, so he was really, really curious about it. And so I was kind of explaining it to him a little bit, but this video is like the perfect video for him to watch and to experience, which is a demo. So there's this huge bubble. They put 2 cars inside the bubble. They throw in this pinkish red smoke. The Tesla has the HEPA filter obviously installed, and the standard filter on the non-Tesla. And you can just see through the video how the cabin of both vehicles, how the Tesla is staying clear and clean, and the non-Tesla is filling up the car with red smoke. So I think this is pretty cool. Something that I don't think a lot of people think about or give enough acknowledgement to Tesla for. The fact that if you're someone that has allergies or any type of breathing or any type of issue, Tesla is really the vehicle for you, because it's going to keep things, the air nice and clear. And if you're ever, like, for instance, when I was in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, there was a fire and I could smell the fire, and I turned on the biodefense mode and it just eliminated that smell immediately. Yep. So
I've driven to San Francisco a number of times in the last couple of years with my Model X, and I had the HEPA filter, and I would turn on that biodefense mode, and there's a number of really, really bad cow pastures where you drive by. It's just huge, and it is very stinky, and that thing always makes short work of it. It's great.
Yeah. Well, if you need to get out of a wildfire, that's even safer right there. Like, people.
Yeah, I think that there was a really interesting. I remember Tesla had a brief time where they were like spent like 2 or 3 months like really, really pumping the HEPA filter and how amazing it was. And I remember seeing something that explained that it's like the testing that they did is like the particulate in the air inside the cabin as well as outside the vehicle decreased across the board. So it's like, it's not just cleaning the outside air before it comes in, it's also cleaning the inside air that you're already breathing, that, it goes back in through the cabin filter, which cycles through the HEPA filter. And then, so if you do have somebody who's ill in the car, less chance of everybody breathing it in because the car is still circulating all the air through that hospital grade filter.
Has anyone tried to hotbox that? Test it?
Yes.
We don't believe you, Will.
Hypothetically, how fast does it clean out?
No comment.
Okay.
I have worried about that though. I mean, this is a reason why I actually don't do that sort of thing in the car. But it is kind of one of those. Let's say, okay, so we're living in the age of electronic car keys. Your phone is your key to the Cybertruck, as it is with Rivian, a lot of other EVs and probably future vehicles. But my question is, so a DUI, technically, if you've got the keys in the vehicle while you're intoxicated, it means that you could be charged with driving because there's intent there because the key's there. Now, if I go sit in my car with just my phone, I don't have my key, I have no intention of going anywhere. Let's just say I want to listen to Pink Floyd or something like that in the car. Does that put me in danger of a potential DUI, DWI, depending on your location? I mean, obviously somewhere where it's decriminalized, or if you're just drinking, even it's like, yeah, you're not supposed to have open containers in the car, so that's one thing. But if there's no driving, but you have your phone, could they bump it? Could they make it be like, oh, this is actually a DUI, dude?
If you get the right lawyer, I think they could probably make a case out of it.
I would hope so. And then I still feel like there would just be like some weird heavy lifting to do with the judge to convince him, be like, Your Honor, he's just sitting in the damn car. But they're like, however, we don't know if they're going anywhere, or wanted to.
It brings up another great point that we might see more with full self-driving, or at least supervised full self-driving. Like, what if you get pulled over and it's driving itself, but someone is clearly over the limit to drive themselves?
Mm-hmm.
They're still technically in control of the vehicle, even though they're doing it in a way that theoretically would be safer for everybody on the road.
Yeah.
It's just a weird gray area.
I'd say that still right now, they're like, you are the driver of question when it comes to speaking to the police or whatever. Even if you had autopilot on the whole drive, they're like, but it's you sitting there. But when they reach the point where it's like, yeah, we can get rid of the steering wheel or something, or just something even close to it, where you're like, I can just lay down in the back seat and get hammered all the way to Vegas or something like that. I
could see like 10 years from now, you get into someone else's Tesla and they have like little breathalyzer thing. It's like, hey man, what's that? It's like, oh man, I can do full self-driving only, man. I got busted too many times.
That's true.
A breathalyzer to unlock actual driving.
I mean, I would imagine that for, the unfortunate thing, when people get DUIs and you have to have the blower in the car, part of me is like, I imagine that electric vehicles would actually be really good for that, because it's like there's an onboard computer, there's a battery supply. The thing has to leech off of the car battery to run, on ICE vehicles. So I don't know. This is a really weird tangent. I'm sorry. We even went.
It's valid.
Well,
I mean,
no. Okay, so it's not, because one Yacom is in chat and they're saying, I've thought about that, William. I think you need to hide the app on your phone if the officer asked about your phone key. I suspect most would not even know your phone is a key. So these are thoughts that are out there in the community, and that's what we're here for, right? To answer these.
I feel like that would be kind of getting off the hook, just because I remember when the Model 3 was out, and there's a video of a guy. There's literally a video of a guy getting pulled over by the cop, and the cop being like, "You can't have a TV on the dashboard." And he's like, "Sir, it's a part of the vehicle. I cannot remove it. There's no way to change it. It's integral to driving the vehicle." And the cop was like, "Oh wow, that's really interesting." So it took him a minute, and then he was like, "All right, I see that it's not a thing, and it's obviously manufacturer installed, so I'll let you go." But I don't know. In my head, I'm always being chased by the cops that are in movies that like really, really want to get me, and like they're smart, in any way. So I mean, it's he's well. First off, he's gonna be like, show me your phone, and be like, no. I was like, am I being questioned? Do you want to? No, I'm not unlocking my damn phone. But still, it's like, I'm imagining it'd be nice if the cop was like, well, I have no idea how this car drives, so I'm out of here. Bye.
What you're saying is we need to get the cop version of the Cybertruck, and then go back out to that track, and then have the cop chase me around.
There you go.
Now there's a photo to follow up.
I'll get it rewrapped, because we've already seen the General E wrap. So I'll get that wrap, and we'll recreate this.
Well, I have a little interesting story. So my dad, when years ago, right when he had first got his Model S, he said that he was speeding a little bit, right? Got pulled over by the cops. And he told the cop, he goes, "Officer, it's not my fault. This is a Tesla. It has the autopilot. It's driving on its own. I didn't have control over what it was doing." And the officer didn't really ask him many questions. He just went, "Oh, wow, that's crazy." And, he asked my dad questions about the car and let him off the hook. Just, okay, all right, no problem.
That's cool. All right.
It's just... I mean, I don't endorse speeding and blame it on the car, okay? But that's just a story that I know.
I endorse speeding every time. I will, and always endorse speeding.
Or you've had some incidents where the cops.
Not trying to be controversial, but I cannot go to traffic school in Florida anymore. Just so you know, I cannot. I've exceeded the number of times I'm allowed to reduce my number of points in Florida. So,
just following up, Chase now has 7 subscribers.
Oh hell yeah! There we go.
YouTube. So
is that more 50 more percent?
50 more. Yeah, 50.
It's
50
jumping.
Of the last 50.
Get it there.
It's getting there. We're inching there. We're inching.
Heck yeah.
So I wanted to also talk. This is non-EV related, but this is something that I think is big news. So Neuralink has installed their second chip inside a human, and this time the patient can control a mouse using only their thoughts, which I think is just it's just crazy, the technology, right? The ability,
especially on an iPhone, because I think the last one was just on his laptop.
Yes, I think it was just like a computer, but now they've developed this technology, and this is just giving those that are unfortunate, that have disabilities, the ability to do a little bit more, which I think is amazing. So kudos to Elon and the Neuralink team.
This is just the beginning. We've heard theoretical stories that the way that they're kind of wiring through the brain, they could also fix things that are neurological issues with paralysis or hearing loss or vision loss or those kind of things that they could actually fix. So, I think this is just the start of it.
100%. I think there's always a lot of skepticism, especially like more and more these days. But it's like Elon's talking about putting chips in people's brains, and I'm like, all right, let's drop the Elon part, because it's another company. There are people who work there. They're doing good. They're doing okay. No, he doesn't know this much about rockets and cars and brains. It's not possible. But I'm thinking from the headspace of accessibility. People who have faced challenges their whole lives. Yep. The opportunity, if they're liking what they see and they're willing to participate in this and it's paying off for them, I'm looking forward to the day. I want to see some YouTube folks who are on Neuralink, who have the Neuralink installations, talking about how it's improved their lives, because that's going to be the thing that I think will really propel it. And I think it's the thing that we should all, that's just another one of those cool things. Like, we all grew up thinking like, what's the future going to be like? We have flying cars and shit. And, we fought to get electric cars, and that took years. But if we're at a point where we can start bringing accessibility to the, as close to the human personality as possible, the point where you can have it linked directly into their brain, and they're willing to test it out for the betterment of everybody, then I'm like, let's do it. Awesome. 100%. Because this is science being ballsy. This is us dreaming about the future. And the future involves all sorts of things happening to all sorts of people, and unfortunate circumstances are out there. And the more that we can introduce technology to better those lives, hell yeah, let's do it. I can't wait.
100%. I agree. Well said. Wanted to get into the what were they thinking? Let me pull this up real quick. So this gentleman installed this little magnetic gadget on his Tundra, and he's able to park into an electric vehicle charging stall.
Nice.
and he's
so he just plugs it in so that he's not charging anything, but it looks like he is.
He's taking up a charging stall just to troll all of the electric vehicle owners. And so nice truck. Yeah. I like the truck. I like the funny little decal on the back. But yeah, that would piss me off if I pulled up to a supercharger and there was a guy.
Man, if I was a Tundra owner, this dude's Instagram is Tundra Lifestyle. I'd be like, I ain't with you, bro. What a dick move. What a weird thing to do. I got my Tundra and I fucking hate EV parking. So
notice the 4x4 hybrid placard underneath there.
Oh god.
Is it actually a hybrid, or he just put that on there?
It's
for,
literally
for
the
shits
magnetic,
giggles?
and then it's literally just so that he can park in EV parking spaces.
I mean, if you're gonna go
What a
through the
jag.
extra effort, I will admit though, even this over the weekend, or this weekend, if there's like an open like EV charging like parking slot in like a parking garage, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, especially if there's like not a whole lot available, even if I'm not charging, nobody's gonna question.
But you're actually driving an EV.
I know, but it's like theoretically, I think the society would say you should only park in there if you're going to be charging in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Well, in the future, it's like it should be the point where there are so many parking plugs everywhere that it doesn't matter where
100%.
EV charges. You can charge everywhere.
Yeah.
I will say though, that dude looked like I could see him in the reflection, and I don't know. He kind of looked like a jerk to me, but you know,
That
that's something that
guy.
Yeah, there he is right there in the reflection.
it's like the
Tundra lifestyle.
it's like the Tesla Y leak. How whoever leaked out the Tesla Y pictures,
there he
you
is.
see in the reflection.
That's definitely a dude who buys testosterone online.
Got that hat. Oh, which brings up a great point and segue if I can find it. Because I know we at one point, even Will, you were talking about like how you take like big parking lots of a supercenter, and like all those parking spaces theoretically could be charging points if you got wireless charging in the parking space itself.
Wireless charging, or just even something simple integrated into the parking space itself, like in the painted lines or whatever.
Exactly, which brings up. Let's see if I can find it. I did see an article recently. I might have to look for it, but I saw an article just recently that they were able to like unlock like a certain level of power charging wirelessly, and they just had like what looked basically like a giant set of coils that you could just set underneath the car, and charge it wirelessly that way. So, and
then they had like the receiver side mounted as well.
Oh,
underneath.
Here we go. Oak Ridge. I can see the link. Link in the chat. Oak Ridge sets a new record for the wireless charging or wireless EV charging. Yeah, it's basically just like a big puck that you put underneath the car.
Oh yeah.
270 kilowatts, which is pretty significant.
Jesus, that's enormous. What voltage does it transmit at? Oh, so I wonder if it's native. I wonder if they do it at 800 volts as well.
So it'd be interesting to see, because I think if we could, even if it was like a V2 level trickle charging, but it's charging as you're parked somewhere.
Yeah.
You know,
it's mentioned if they have to have at some point like everywhere is charging, right? Mm-hmm. And so like if they installed these like in like every parking stall everywhere.
I think when
when you stop to get groceries, you get a 30, 45 minute, maybe an hour charge. You go to the movie theaters, you get a 2 hour charge. You go eat dinner, you get another 2 hour charge, or an hour and a half, whatever it is. And just like everywhere you go, you're just kind of getting a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, to the point where you're able to maintain, right?
Well, and it can also, I mean, you know, it'll require a fair amount of technology, but it's like, you know, that goes both ways. It's like, let's say that, you know, you park your car in you know, Glendale at the Glendale Galleria in the parking garage, and everybody who has an EV plugs in, and there's a major outage, just some sort of a major power problem. I mean, Tesla's been dealing with their virtual power plant already, with having people support the grid using their power walls in their home. Eventually, and you know, we're not far off of it. The technology is honestly in the cars right now. It just requires all the back end coordination, but it's theoretical. You know, it's reasonable to think that if the power walls are supporting the grid, then very soon all of our cars can be supporting the grid as well. So having the ability to charge at the mall also means that there's backup power available to not just the mall, but everywhere that is in that you know, that grid area. You have a lot of room for backup and for ameliorating any kind of power fluctuations that are anywhere from inconveniences to lethal. So I mean, you've got it's in the cars. It's right there. You got an enormous freaking battery in your car that's huge, and it can run and support a sizable, like, honestly, I think that the average house, you know, if I'm spitballing, I'm just imagining like the average house in a neutral time of year for the climate, it's probably like, you know, burns like 2 to 3 kilowatts an hour. and assuming that they don't the AC isn't blasting and they're not charging anything else. And that's the average amount. So 2 kilowatts, 2 to 3 kilowatts.
Mm-hmm.
Your car charges at when it's at 40 amps can go up to 9 kilowatts.
Mm-hmm.
That's your car could actually run 3 houses. Mm-hmm. And that's in the 40 amp mode, which I know that it exceeds because they used to have, I think that they used to have Tesla 72 amp onboard chargers for power. So, the future is bright, and there's actually a lot of stuff that's already there. They just need to, kick it on and coordinate it. But that's the reason why you want to have a plug everywhere, so that fleet of batteries is now available to the grid to support it as well as charge.
We actually ran into this weekend too, because we were coming back from the track, but we knew we wanted to stop in San Antonio for lunch before we went up to Austin. So I had about, I want to say 30% when we were done with that. We got to San Antonio and we knew that we were going to go eat lunch. So roughly an hour in some change, but it wasn't cost efficient enough for us to just park at the supercharger on the supercharger, because we walked to dinner or walked to lunch, and then I would have to run back and then take it off the charge because of idle fees. I would have rather just I think we've even mentioned before, having the option of a V2 charger that doesn't have idle fees as an option at some of these superchargers would be nice. Because in that case, we could have ate lunch for an hour and then came back with just as much charge and actually saved time. Because this essentially what we had to do is not park it at the supercharger, go get lunch, get the car, go back to supercharger, and then spend an extra 25 minutes charging, and then go on about our day. So,
not to take your thunder, Eric, but Chris Bow in the chat, he just said his house runs, with no AC or oven is 1.5 kilowatts or less most of the time, and 20 kilowatts a day. It's his Lightning could run his house for 4 days. So if he's at 20 kilowatts and he had a Cybertruck, he could run his house for 6 days. That's the kind of power that we have stored in those vehicles. And the fact that we just use them to drive, it's cool, but it is leaving a lot of use on the table.
100%. If they could just activate my power share.
Hey, the Rivian, I'm thinking that I'm supposed to have, vehicle to house as well. And they're supposed to have that, I think, by the end of this year. So also, good note for the Cybertruck. I remember digging through the manual, and technically your mobile charger is also power share capable.
Really?
But there's something with the mobile chargers that came with the Cybertruck. I think they're the universal mobile charger or something. It's another name for it, UMC, I think. But it shows that it's power share capable. So if you're maybe at a location that has a Tesla, and see, this is where your brain can start kind of having some fun. So your house may be set up for your Cybertruck, but what if your Cybertruck's away and you have another vehicle there, another Tesla that has power share enabled? What if it was still able to still support the house, even though it's not your car? You can still set it up for that. I don't know. That's cool.
I think that's mostly for the being able to jump another car, plugging that into your Cybertruck and then charging another vehicle off of it.
Yeah.
Will's right. The possibilities are endless, and we haven't even, no pun intended, but we haven't even touched the tip of it yet. So, all right, guys, it's that time of the episode where we get into the wrap of the week. So this one is nothing flashy, nothing crazy. This is a personal preference of mine, just because I really, really like the color. And it's just this very subtle gray, light gray, off-white type of look.
It might be because it's outside. It might be the sky. It seems like a blue, almost this baby powder blue. Oh, but it isn't. Look at it. It's a frosted weird. Oh man,
I like it.
I
just like it. I like the little subtle Cyber Beast right there, because I've seen a lot of people put the big Cyber Beast on the back. I just like the little subtle.
Shout out to the socks and sandals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have to.
SoCal.
There goes the
Easily
reflections again,
SoCal. Yeah. You get a glossy truck. That's what happens.
And I can't really tell with the wheels. I mean, obviously it's sitting still, but it just kind of goes. It just kind of goes. Everything just, I like it. I like it a lot. So
full window tint really helps a lot.
Yeah.
And the blackout window.
It looks like the windshield
this is a solid vision, a manifestation, a vision of what somebody wanted to do. It looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like it.
I dig it.
I really, really like it. So.
Not related, but Cybertruck's also in the Fortnite shop. My son wanted to make sure everybody knew that. So
yeah.
Get your achievements in, because my nephews they finally did it, so they're rolling around in the Cybertruck.
But are they hitting jumps like you?
I would assume so. If you can do it
in Fortnite, that's like half of it's driving, the rest of it's like doing insane jumps.
Have your nephews seen the jump?
I don't know, actually. I need to hit up my brother and be like, hey, have they seen it? Because
has your brother seen it? Yeah,
they've seen it, and they're like, he was at work and he was like, all of us are trying to figure out why you're jumping $100,000 off of that. And I'm like, well, it's the same thing.
It's part of the fun, man. It's part of the fun.
Built to.
It is. I mean, it was proving a point there. Very, very expensive point. Another thing that came in. So I just got the packages. I'm still missing one, but I've got the side MOLLE panels ordered. I'm finally using one of my vouchers. So yeah, I got the side MOLLE panels that are going to go on the inside of the bed area, and then also the big divider. So I actually just played with the divider a little bit before the show. Looks pretty cool, but I might wait for the full review, because it sounds like it's got some quirks with it. But so far it's kind of cool. I mean, it's not super heavy.
Have you seen T Sportsline's MOLLE panel shelf?
No.
Okay, let me pull that up real quick. I have to admit, that's
for the top side of the truck, or
no, it's for the bed of the truck. Here, let me see if I can find it. This is gonna, bear with me, everybody. I apologize. Oh, here we go. I got it already.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it'll track. Oh, so it cuts off at the bed. Ooh, okay.
So that's kind of cool. I like that, because one of my small little issues is the fact that because of the shape of the Cybertruck, even for someone like me who's about 6'2", it's hard there's no way, even in the lowest setting, that I can reach the bed of the truck at closer to the cab, right? So having this MOLLE panel shelf, you're able to attach things to the shelf, and you have access. I would be able to very easily reach in at the lowest suspension height and be able to access, a MOLLE panel, or a MOLLE bag, with the first aid kit or something, or, some accessories, tools, things of that nature. That would be actually really, really cool to have something like this. I don't like to look at the brackets, but I like the shelf.
Yeah, it looks like a cooler. I think there's another a company that makes truck bed decks that have like a huge drawer system that can pull in and out. I like this as a solution more, honestly, because it's like this is modular. I know that one's like mega rugged, so I'm sure that it's definitely perfect for the applications. But this is a great solution just for people who just have the vehicle, just need more access to the deeper part of the bed.
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, you can even, someone that isn't necessarily putting big things in the back of their Cybertruck, you can even put this, because it's just on the L track. You could put it all the way close to the tailgate. Right. And now you just have 2 layers of, the space, at your disposal.
How long until somebody makes like a drawer system for the L track that you just bolt in? I mean, it eliminates the L track, so you can't use it. But you could then use that little shelf to just scoot front and back in there and make a modular. Just drop another one in and do.
I thought Tesla Tino was doing that.
Oh, okay.
With one company, was it? Because someone was actually working on a electric griddle setup, and I think that's how it was fixed. But it was basically, it would pull out with the tailgate open.
I've seen that. They're like in pre-orders or something right now. Yep. Yeah, I've seen that as well. That's something that I would possibly be interested in. But the thing, I've actually thought about building one myself. The thing is that I'm 99% sure I'm going to get the range extender when that comes out. And so I don't want to build something and then now the range extender won't fit. And now I got to pull everything out. I got to modify. I don't want to do all that. I'd rather get the range extender first, get that installed, and then whether somebody already made something or I build it myself, then I'll do that. But
yeah, I agree.
Don't commit.
Pretty cool.
72 earthquakes.
Right. Oh, geez. It went up since we talked?
Yeah. 72 earthquakes in 24 hours in the exact same spot.
That is odd.
Are we sure they're earthquakes at this point? No, it's like something.
It's probably Chase. There's probably Chase doing jumps over there.
Someone's jumping Cybertrucks over there. You know, these like death machines that are full of metal. This
is how Bakersfield has their cyber rodeo.
100%.
It's crazy.
Guys, that's all I got for today. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right.
Shout out to the Robo Taxi event that's not happening tomorrow.
Yeah, right. There was supposed to be there actually. So if you're in Austin, if you're listening, there is a cool light show event on the roof of one of the garages. I'm blanking on it now, but I can pull it up in 2 seconds. A lot of Cybertrucks are going to go for basically a light show, and I believe I don't have it pulled up. No, sorry. In the domain. So look out, roughly like 6:30, 7 o'clock. I can't go, unfortunately. I might still try to go without the truck. Because funny enough, Farzad popped up in my Turo inbox and was like, hey, I'm going to rent out the Cybertruck for that day. So they've got a date night planned with the Cybertruck. So
nice.
It's all clean. Farzad, if you hear it, it is spick and span right now for you out in the front driveway. If you look in the Cybertruck Owners Club, I actually posted a photo of what it looks like now clean. So it is very, very clean. So nice. Even after jumping it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to everyone in chat, everybody that came in and viewed and communicated and chatted with us. We appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.